Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Moving into the Future. Today, I am joined by the most handsome man in moving in South Florida, Kevin Gray from First Class Moving and Storage. I've done two of these OMA showcases, and Kevin has been on both of them. So we might have to change the name just to the Kevin Showcase from here on in. Kevin, how are you today?
I'd be on board with that, man. But I don't want to scare away your viewers. So I'm sure you can mask it a little bit better if you want. I won't be offended.
No, you're exactly who I want on here. That's why I like having you on. You're my first two technically reoccurring guest. I've had Anthony on twice, but the second time he came on, I really had to twist his arm about it. So this is my first willing recurring guest. So a historic moment in the Moving into the Future podcast history books.
Oh yeah, man. I love it, man. I appreciate you having me on, and I love the resource of being able to get the information we speak about out to the public, and appreciate it again, man.
Yeah, no, it's my pleasure. And it's pretty cool because, we just got back from Columbus where we were at an OMA conference there. And, we get to see a lot of our partners from the different cities and stuff like that. And a lot of people from the group listen and tune in, which is, it's good. I like that I can bring that platform to the group and, provide some content and promote OMA as a whole. So it's enjoyable for me and something I really like doing for the group as a whole. So anybody who's listening from OMA, we want to get you on here. If you want to come on, you're more than happy. Kevin's done a good job laying out the playbook as far as how it goes, and we'll make sure we do a good job. Kevin, what'd you think of Columbus last week?
Man, I was surprised. What a fun little town. You know, I judged it by its cover. I never really spent time in Ohio, and shame on me, but really, really nice little town. And I had a great time, man. I was shocked at how hot it was. I mean, I live in Florida, so, I can usually hang with with the highest temperatures, but it was like 100 every day. It was up there.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely was. And we walked to and from a couple places and you were feeling it there. And Ohio is an interesting place because in New York, they have ads constantly on TV, like promoting people to move to Ohio. And me personally, it's a pretty tough sell. I don't see myself winding up there. However, it is nice, and Columbus especially. Columbus is like the 15th largest U.S. state, U.S. city, which is surprising. I think they actually might be moving up close to the top 10, which is something I wouldn't have ever guessed. But they definitely have a nice little downtown scene, and from what it seems from our partners there, there's a lot of good work with the various companies there. White Castle's headquartered there. I learned that last week. That was that was interesting and fun to see. And then just a group as a whole, what I've liked and enjoyed. So how long have you been going to the OMA sales conferences? About a year now?
Yeah, just about a year. We joined, I believe, last June. We officially became members. So, yep, just about a year.
Right. And yeah, my first one was in May of last year. So I've been to about four of them, not including the annuals. And I like how Doug or whoever plans them, Julie, they pick different pockets of the country. We did one. My first one was in Charlotte. Then we went to Florida, Columbus, Scottsdale. So that gives an opportunity for our partners in those areas who might not necessarily be able to make it to a lot of, the different sales conferences, an opportunity to go to those. And it's a great time to meet, the people from Commercial Works and some of the more Midwest partners who I typically, wouldn't be able to meet.
That FaceTime that we get together, you can't put a price tag on that. I was talking to my bosses about that recently, about when we came back from Columbus, and we communicate so much via email, text, calls, and all that, which is great. But when you can actually sit down, and have dinner, have a drink with your partners, bowl with them, play arcade games with them like we did at that happy hour up there. That personal time, that one-on-one time with them that's what fortifies relationships. That's what fortifies future business. you can do a great job for somebody. You can get along all day via email and stuff like that, but people are going to remember you. They're going to remember the experiences they had with you at those events and stuff. I had a boss who used to say that people might not always remember what you say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel.
Right.
So I feel like that that time together is invaluable and just always a great experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's the relationships you create because like you said, when you're doing this business through email and phone, a lot of times you're really just a name. And, it's you don't have that chance to, create those relationships and find that common ground too, because that's also what happens at these things. You start talking and then you find out, hey, we're both, whatever, Bills fans or, into the same music or reading the same books or watching the same shows, whatever it may be. Like I met Bob he's from Commercial Works in Charlotte, and he used to own like a barbecue spot. And like, see, what that allows me to do is remember Bob. So then when I go to these things again, I remember Bob, he owned a barbecue joint, been in the business. He's got a great, his son's name sounds like a wrestler. It's like, I forget what it is. His middle name's Owen and his last name's Bowman. So it was a good one, but if I think of it, I'll remember it. But yeah, it's stuff like that.
Sorry, go ahead.
I said it's stuff like that makes it fun and makes it worthwhile. And then not only that from like the personal angle, but then also just coming together to collaborate, in those breakout sessions and stuff like that. Like as far as I've concerned it, and I've always thought this, OMA really is the best movers in the country, and these are the people running those companies. So to get them in the same room together and have these discussions about whether it's selling national accounts or marketing or whatever it may be is incredibly valuable for me and you as young leaders. It works out great.
Big time. What you were mentioning about, people's personal endeavors and things like that outside of business, and that's how you remember them, reminded me of Michael Scott when in the office when they're making sales calls and they're making sales visits in person and Ryan says, "Look at that old man in his Rolodex go," and he's got the Rolodex and he color codes it so that everything in green stands for go ahead and say that. But then he also has like negative things that he doesn't want to say. So they're color coded in orange, which stands for orange. You glad you didn't say that?
Yeah, I might have to start doing that. Coming with a Rolodex and taking everybody's cards and color coding them based on, how I'm going to remember them. And then we're going to have to start throwing parties up in our room and only Michael and Jim shows up later. And
That's right.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. The OMA conferences are definitely better than the office parody conferences. But and then Larry Funderburk, that was awesome. I can't remember. We've never really had speakers like those at other conferences, right?
Yeah. He was awesome, and I know he was a personal friend of one of our partners at.
Yeah, Brian Brooks.
Right. So that was a great introduction, and it's amazing how much sports relates to business. And hearing a professional athlete like that just speak about not only his upbringing and his professional life outside of basketball, but his experiences in basketball in college and in the NBA, and how that can relate to any business. And it's the way he broke that down was really impressive, and I got a lot out of that.
Yeah, so did I. I really enjoyed it. And he, the way that, like you said, he correlated, sports to business and basically like that overcoming conflict to reach a goal, or on the other side of that, fixing. He said resolving the process. That's an important thing in business, and that was probably my big takeaway from that is resolving processes, which is something I always try to do anyways and focus on. I'm very process and standard driven when I work with clients. I try to figure out what they have going on at a current state, and then find out what needs to be done better or what's working well, and then build them into our unique processes. I really enjoyed that part of it, and then the second part was the value proposition. I don't do that enough. It's like, I guess it's obviously like built in terms of, we offer national accounts. We can streamline, all of your needs nationally and stuff like that as far as a value proposition. But I'm trying to think of more unique ways to go about it, because really everybody's kind of saying that in OMA. So like, what else can I do that's unique to me that can be a value proposition for my clients?
Dude, and you said, I feel like I don't do that enough. And you got up there and spoke about it. And you would have thought that you do that every second of the day, man. So don't sell yourself short. I was sitting there like, wow, holy cow, man. It's like a comedy show where someone's staged in the audience to like, make a joke funnier or something like that and to play off the crowd. That's what I thought that was. I thought it was a setup, man. But I know that was totally just totally off the whim, and you killed it, man. That was awesome. But yeah, I think what you hit on during that, which was really valuable, is factoring in the emotional aspect of a move, of a transition like that, and focusing on how it impacts your clients' lives and how you can make it easier on them and how we do make it easier on them. So coming at it from that personal angle, and it's not just a transaction like when you go to the grocery store and all right, you get this item for that money and you're done. It's a process, and it can be grueling. Like moving, they say, is like one of the top 5 most stressful things in life, and but that's what we're here for, and to reassure people the way that you did and the way that you have been. That was encouraging to me, because I know I can get caught up so much in, all right, here are your price points. Here's how many men we're going to put on this, how many trucks, the materials, all that. But you got to take time to talk about, hey, here's the A to Z process of how we're going to make your life easier, how we're going to make this smoother for you and your employees so that they're happier, they're more comfortable as well. And when you really hit on that goes a long way. So that was a great reminder, man. Great job.
Yeah, thank you. And that's one of the things when I was younger, because I forgot like what exactly prompted it within me, but I became very focused on like personality types. So like type A and type B, and like what that means for each person, and how you sell to those people. And like, the type A's are the more emotional buyers, right? So then you do talk about, the stress induced process and moving, and how I'm going to help you eliminate that stress, or be supportive for you, through this process, so you have somebody to work with, and stuff like that. But then there's also the logical side of that, which is the more type B side, which, looking back at it, no one stood up there and did it. I should have just done it again. And just showed both sides of the coin there, because I do that a lot too, and like essentially where we're breaking a move down from a standpoint of, okay, here's the time frame, here's how much time it's going to take, and here's the cost associated with that, and here's why. And then you can break that down for somebody who's more type B analytical in that sense, and it allows them to better understand how this is going to happen, and what's going to be done and make them feel more comfortable in doing it in a more process-driven and specific, meticulous way. So it's I look out for that very early when I'm dealing with a person. And see, with us, like, we're clearly type A's, and even I was at an award ceremony last night, and like everybody in that room for the most part is a type A personality, but it's when you walk into the client's office and you may be dealing with anybody. It could be the general counsel sometimes, who's like, very logical from a law standpoint, and you need to explain to him. You don't need to be coming off about, stress and all that. He doesn't care about that. He cares about the logic behind the move and how it's going to be done in a precise way for a reasonable cost. And when you can do that effectively, it helps out a lot.
I remember I had a big deal a couple of years ago where I worked really hard on the proposal, and put a step-by-step process together. I went in person to hand deliver the proposal in a printed format, and they were obviously accepting other bids, as they always do. And I ended up winning it. And the guy was transparent with me, the client, and he said, "I just want to let you know, like, you were the highest price, but you were the most prepared.
Right.
And that's why we want to work with you. So that absolutely goes a long way, is when you, you show them that you're going to be there step by step throughout this process, and that you're not just, dumping them off into the hands of your crew and going to walk away. Although our crews, they're obviously great and they take amazing care of our customers. But clients want the comfort of you being by their side throughout the process, since you've been there since the beginning of the process, and walking it, pricing it, things like that. So I totally agree with you. That goes so far. And I think we all need to put that into practice.
Yeah, and one of the things you said too, which I don't do enough of, and I wish I did more, is delivering a hard copy of the proposal, and going there, and if they have the time to, like, sitting down with them and going through the proposal together, because like we were saying before, as far as it goes with OMA, when you just send a proposal over via email, then it's an email, it's a proposal, and you're relying on them to understand everything in that proposal, which they're not going to do. No one ever does, and really, frankly, like, they shouldn't. It's not their world. If you send me something related to, like, a contract for something else, I don't know all the details in this, or I'm not going to, always read the fine print and stuff like that. People are so accustomed to skimming over and just getting right to the price and the bottom line too, not even like the breakdown in between,
Right.
either breaking down the daily rates or whatever it may be, materials. They just see the bottom line number, and then that's what they're basing their judgment off. And it sells us short a lot of times. And I wish I shouldn't say I wish. I need to be more focused on doing that, when I can, especially for bigger proposals. I don't need to be doing it for like a $5,000 or something like that. But like, if I'm sending over a $40,000-$50,000 project, it makes a ton of sense, to take time, say, hey, I'm going to, if you're in the office this day, I'll be near there. I'd love to deliver it, and take 20 minutes, 30 minutes to go over it together. Do you do that a lot?
Not as often as I should. So in a perfect world, you could do it for, all these projects. But obviously we're on the road so much. Our schedules are crazy. But when I have the time, I absolutely like to. And it sets you apart. It sets you apart from your competition, because they're not doing that.
Right.
So it definitely sets you apart, but you're walking the walk when you do that, when you claim you care about a client, and you're walking the walk and showing that through your actions when you take the time to go by in person and drop that off and go over it with them. It makes them feel, I think it makes them feel heard and appreciated and cared for. So I think in their minds, they say, hey, if he's doing this before the move, then I imagine the move itself is gonna go through go with the same care and attentiveness. So.
Right, exactly. It's that attention to detail and that sensitivity up front that offers that peace of mind. So yeah, I really like that. Have you spoken to Nelson since the conference last week? What did he think of his first one?
Oh yeah, man, he was fired up.
Yeah.
He was fired up. Yeah. So for everybody watching, Nelson is our new general manager at our New Orlando branch. He's been killing it. He's been doing awesome. Very hungry and very sharp. So we're really, really blessed to have him part of our team. We've actually been working a lot together because Sunrise, our Miami branch is about a 3.5 hour drive from Orlando, roughly. Yeah. And the warehouse space here, as well as most other places, is just overflowing, right? Mm-hmm. But the fact that we have this new Orlando warehouse that we have to fill, Nelson's like, doors are open. Like, you guys, send me anything you got. And I'm selling deals down here. And exactly, clients know that there's very limited warehouse space down here, not just with us, but with everybody. Mm-hmm. So they're paying us to take it to Orlando to store it there. Like, that's how high the demand for storage is right now. And he's been killing it, man. He's just been raking it in. And I think I got 5 trailers headed his way this weekend that he's going to have to put on, Monday morning. So I texted him at like 4 a.m. the other day. I got up to get started early, and I'm just like, hey man, by the way, you're gonna have 5 trailer loads at your place on Monday. Most GMs would be like, what? We never talked about this. He's like, awesome, man. He's like, thanks so much. He's like, we'll be ready. So
fill it up. And then I saw too, Citadel is leaving Chicago and coming to South Florida, which is huge.
Oh
Did
yeah,
you see that?
wow, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah. So I mean, that's gonna be all new construction in another large financial firm leaving a major metropolitan city to come to South Florida. I don't know exactly where they'll be in South Florida, but I'm pretty sure it is going to be like South, not Tampa or Orlando. So that's just another large company bringing probably, I don't know, 1,000 employees or so, maybe 500 to 1,000, I'd imagine, down to Florida. It's going to be insane there.
One of many.
Yeah.
It's been. I'm a little behind on my business journal reading.
Yeah. I think it just got announced yesterday.
Okay, all right. So now I don't feel that bad about it, but yeah, they're one of many. It's been just wave after wave of big name companies moving down here, and we love it. I think we spoke about this on the last podcast, but it's what every sales rep in this industry wants.
Seriously.
So this is a great market to be a part of, and we're actually we have the resources to help all of these companies, regardless of peak season, regardless of the volume of these companies coming down here. We have the resources to service all of them. So that's been it's great to work for an organization that can actually provide you the tools you need to take care of these companies in the waves and the volumes that they're coming in. So very grateful for that, because I know a lot of people don't have that luxury.
Yeah, that was one of my big takeaways from our little young leaders seminar in DC. Is there's so many partners who they're doing a lot at their companies. The young leaders are specifically, it's and that's tough. When I started out, I was doing a lot of that same, and it's hard to keep up with that, because you got your hands in so many different jars that you lose track as far as what's going on and stuff like that. So working for a company that has the necessary resources to support and make sure that you can do your job well is so important in this industry. And that's why national accounts and OMA works really well too, I think, specifically for like young leaders in general, is because they can grow their business through the OMA network, and that resource pool is limitless, essentially, almost. So it helps them a lot, handle their clients and manage their clients without being overwhelmed with the day-to-day of local moving and stuff like that.
I've been blown away at the I always use the term taking the reins, whether it's one of our coordinators knowing when to take the reins, whether it's a partner. That's so underrated, because I was talking about this a couple of days ago. I was thanking my coordinator because her name's Erica Castro, and she's a rock star. She's one of several coordinators that we have. They're all rock stars. There was a project where it's a client that we have our work orders and paperwork, but they have theirs that they need us to sign and go by. And a lot of times on other projects, those were slipping through the cracks, and the client was having to reach out to me and say, hey, where is this paperwork? Where is this and that? And I'm happy to do it, but it's always one more thing. And when you're doing this many projects with a client, that can add several hours to your week, chasing down that paperwork, things like that. So I saw on one project recently, she just, without me having to say anything, she just did, she read their instructions, and she did every step. She got them the signed work order. She got them the finalized invoice. She just took the reins, right, and just did her thing. And I'm all about I'm all about coordinators like asking us questions and double checking on things. Like that's so necessary and stuff like that. But there are other times where things are just, clear as day, written out, and I trust them to go ahead and take the next steps in the process to get it done. And she does that, and I just thanked her in like a company wide email, and kind of use her as an example, for that, because man, at the end of the day, our job is to sell X amount of dollars.
Right. Right. And the business doesn't run if we don't.
Exactly. The business doesn't run if we don't. Correct. As well as any other sales role or industry, right?
Right.
So I was thanking her for that, because and I use that illustration that we are held accountable and our performance is measured based off how much we sell. If the end of the year rolls around and Chris and Will come up to me and say like, "Hey, you fell short of your goal. Like, what happened?" And I say, "Well, I was spending time chasing down work orders and, and getting change orders signed and this and that." Nobody's going to care.
Right. Exactly.
That's the hard truth. And I say it's the hard truth, but it's the fair truth as well, right? It's fair because we gotta find a way to get that stuff done, but still sell. But when our coordinators step up and our OMA partners step up, that's where I was going with this, is that the OMA partners in third cities that I've been using have just been, they've been so personable with my clients and direct about the operational process and stuff, without coming to me and saying, "Hey, Kevin, what should I do here?" They just do it. Mm-hmm. And that's you can't put a value tag on that. That goes so far as in regards to freeing up our time and allowing us to actually go out and sell the next project.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things too that I've taken upon myself is to really set the tone, especially from a national account standpoint. Like, you're the first touch, right? You're the person who they come into contact first, representing your company most of the time. And from there, it's up to you to obviously establish that relationship, which we talked about. And then beyond that, figure out what the client's need are, which we talked about in terms of the process and stuff like that. And then give that information to your coordinators and your project managers, along with, for me at least, the company profile. We were talking in Columbus about this too. Letting the coordinator and the project manager assigned to the job know, okay, here's what we're dealing with. Here's how many offices they have throughout the country. Here's what we're doing on this project, and here's what's important to this client on this project. And then here's what I'm going to need, from you guys. And just making it abundantly clear, because what that does for them is it elevates them as well. It makes them see that this is not just another transactional move. This is a big account that could help the company grow. And even though they might not be seeing that work direct because it'll be happening in other pockets of the country, it's still a representation of the advanced group and who we are and what we're becoming for our clients in New York and elsewhere. And I did a job last week. We have this project manager here. His name's Sean McPhillips. He's such an all-star. It's unbelievable because he speaks the language of a mover, of a client. When he's speaking with the client, speaks incredibly well. And then we were doing this project through a furniture vendor. It was a furniture installation, and it's a large client of mine. And he's speaking the furniture language too, because he comes from that world. He used to be in furniture. So he was putting these reports together at the end of every day and like sending them out to, we had 2 clients on this project, the furniture client, and breaking it all down, and they couldn't have been happier. And it's just such a great representation of who we are and what we're trying to do, because in the project lead up, and I'm sure you're the same way, me and Kaylee, who's my coordinator, we are like so particular about what needs to be done, all the paperwork getting in quickly, the communication is in line. We go above and beyond in that. So then for Sean to take that baton and, finish up that job well and make sure that, because with furniture installations too, I mean, this was a large project. There's always going to be little things, legs missing or whatever it is. But to get ahead of that and identify it quickly and then resolve it quickly, because we've already identified it and understood we need to get this turned around quickly, help save time, save money, get the client in the space sooner. So it helps a ton. And then, same thing. We're doing a large lab move, and again, like, Frank DiCarlo, our project manager on that, just goes above and beyond communicating and articulating, and there's change orders involved and identifying those quickly on site and getting the client to sign off on them so that they're aware. So that way, when we go back later, it's not this whole, run around and he said, she said. So it's also imperative. And right now the advanced group is operating at like an extremely high level all across the board. It's great to see. And like similar to OMA, I feel like we're really starting to get in our rhythm, because like you said, like the process of like putting work orders into boss and like, making sure they stay updated and closed out and like that sort of thing, I've noticed is like running much more efficiently. Communication between partners is running much more efficiently, because a lot of these partners I have relationships with now through the sales conferences and stuff like that. And it's like we're in a nice rhythm as a company and as a group that works really, really well.
I agree, man. It's been clockwork lately. It's been crazy. I'm actually doing a project with Mark and Kaylee today down here, and yeah, I second that about Kaylee, and I'm sure it's the same with the rest of your team. But yeah, her communication and attention to detail has been stellar, and like you said, it just makes my life so much easier. And it's no surprise that the projects go as smoothly as they do through that. So yeah, kudos to you guys on that.
Yeah, and God bless Kaylee, because she manages projects for both Mark and I, and it's like not easy, but she's so good. Like we both need her, So it's we're obviously looking for more help, and that's an entirely different conversation. Is finding the right people to fill these roles. But Kaylee's an all-star. She does such a good job, and she knows that. And it's funny, the salesperson coordinator relationship, because we both want to succeed. We both need to succeed in order for these jobs to be successful. So like she knows, she has my full support whenever she needs it. I call her pretty much every day and being like, what's up? What can I do? Where can I help? And a lot of the time she's got it under control, but I think, it's important for her to know that I'm doing what I can to help support her.
Yeah, absolutely. And that goes a long way with them, like I know you and I have spoken about this before, but just little things like, just an email like that, recognizing them and stuff, and just showing that appreciation to them. Like they deserve it every day. And, I can always do it more, but I've been trying to make that effort, because they do so much hard work behind the scenes that, that kind of goes under the radar to everybody else outside the company. But they're the real heroes behind the project who make it all come together. So
they really do. Because they're in contact with everybody, the warehouse, the project managers, dispatch, us, like everybody. So yeah, no, we appreciate our coordinators. We might have to title that the episode. What was I going to say too? What are you doing this weekend? Anything fun?
Oh man, I think I'm well, I can't give you all the details.
Yeah, PG version.
No, I'm joking, man. It's hard. It's a rough time of year, right? NBA finals just ended. Right. We got baseball. I know you're a big hockey guy, and I'm not, so I'm oblivious to that world.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Once the Rangers are out, I don't care. The Knicks screwed up the draft last night and didn't get anybody there. They're just running in circles and going nowhere. But I'm going to the Yankee game tonight. Nice. Yeah, so that should be a good time. Sox have been making a little run. They're starting to play better.
Yeah, they're still 13 games out first, but I forget the wild card expansion. So, they, according to that, they're still right there, but we'll see. I'm laying low, man. I think I'm going to lay low. Take it easy. We obviously just got back from Columbus. I got to go to Boston next weekend for my best friend's wedding. He'll be getting married in New Hampshire. So I'm going to fly into Boston, see the family, and then go up there and spend the 4th there. So That Northeast, man, that New England area, and this time of year is stunning.
Can't beat it. Can't beat it. I used to go to the Cape back in the day for 4th of July. And that was great, man. I used to love that. I was a little kid, but yeah, we used to do that a lot. There's nothing like it up there during this time of year. Same with I'm not really partial to the Hamptons in Montauk and out there. I don't just not my style. But I like going upstate where I'm from and hanging out up there. I mean, this time of year, it's perfect. It's perfect. And, you know, you got the mountains up there, and I love it.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it, and yeah, just trying to wrap up here this week, and it's been busy, man. We got a big project this weekend, so might be out on the road a little bit tomorrow, but it's been a great summer so far.
Yeah, it definitely has been. Definitely has been. And, you know, this has been great. I love seeing you. We've seen each other a lot. We see each other once a month now. This is great.
I know, man. All these conferences and stuff. It's like yeah, we should get a timeshare like at all these conferences that we go to or something like that.
We might have to figure that out. We might have to figure that out. So definitely, I'll definitely see you in October, but hopefully I can make my way to Florida in between then or something like that, and we'll make it happen. Or you can make it up here, but don't come here during July and August. It sucks up here during that time. It's too hot in the city.
You know, we'll make it work, man. Absolutely. So
All right, but I appreciate you coming on again. The second Kevin showcase was a success. Take it easy, brother. Good to see you, and we'll catch up again soon. All right.
likewise, bud. Thank you, man.
All right. Bye. Thank you, everybody, for listening.